Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS Inform. We're honored tonight to have David Wayne joining us in the studio. Now, you know David Wayne as a performer at many different areas and throughout the years, but we're going to talk about the Huntingburg Opry, or David Wayne's Opry, and all the things they've got going on. And throughout the year, you do once a month, for the most part, you do a show at the Opry. But let's start by we'll talk about the year. Let's talk first of all about February.
February is Bluegrass month. We do Bluegrass in February because January we take off. February we start Bluegrass, then we kick back up. But February the 8th, we have Dan Huffman's Mountain Harmony Bluegrass Band and special guest Adams Harmony. So fantastic show there. And then 2 weeks later, we have Jim and Lena Woolsey, who were up for a Grammy this year in Bluegrass. So that's on the 22nd, and those are two fantastic Bluegrass shows. So if you like Bluegrass, my people ask me for Bluegrass, they get Bluegrass, and that's the only time throughout the year they'll probably get it other than what we do on our shows.
That's what's going on in February. Let's talk about the rest of the year.
In the month of March, we have what we'll call a blast from the past. I wish everybody would dress in their 70s then, because there's going to be an Elvis impersonator and a Buddy Holly impersonator. And we do some Garth Brooks. I come out doing a little Garth and some George Strait, some stuff like that. And then the guys in the Opry, they'll come out dressed as different characters. But our Buddy Holly and Elvis, you got to see that.
Okay, and that's in March.
That's in March.
All right.
That's toward the end of March, and we always advertise in the Herald or the Further News, and then they can always call Market Street Barbecue. They sell tickets too. And they're the ones that helped us revamp that Opry upstairs. So it went from David Wayne's Opry to Huntingburg Music Hall in case we have different events instead of country.
I'm kind of glad you clarified that, because in my mind I've always got it as David Wayne's Opry. But yet people go, no, that's the Huntingburg Opry Hall. Well, really, it's the same thing. Call it what you want, just go.
It's the old Legion. It's been remodeled twice. And when the city revamped uptown there, put that nice park in there, the mayor and them did a fantastic job. We actually closed up for a year to get everything remodeled, and including the restaurant downstairs. They remodeled, and then they helped me do the upstairs, and Greg and Rochelle and Dottie, and we did a fantastic job.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the year as it goes along. Do you have the whole year scheduled out? We talked about March. Do we know what's going on in April, May, June?
Pretty well. I have to keep a heads up because sometimes I get these Opry guests, and I get special sponsors like Best Home Furnishings and Strikers, and I could go on with Primerica and Freedom Bank, but without some of them, we couldn't have had like Tommy Cash and Shotgun Red, some of those. But in March, after that show, we have Tim Atwood in April. Fantastic. A buddy of mine played piano for the Grand Ole Opry for 35 years. Now he's out touring on his own, and he's done our show last year by popular demand. He's back. And in May, John Wagner does a veteran show for us. Fantastic. So then toward the end of June, we have Rodney Watts, who's been with Reba McEntire. And Rodney's actually from the Petersburg area.
Yeah.
And then July 25th, we're working on Johnny Carver. Johnny Carver did tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree and Sweet City Woman, and a lot of them remember him for that. And we're also down the road, I'm looking at Bobby G. Rice, who did She Lays So Easy on My Mind, and Ava Barber from the Lawrence Welk Show has called me. So when Tim Atwood played, he went back to Nashville and told some of his friends. Now they call and they want to come to the Opry. So sometimes we get special sponsors, and they'll kick in. And so the older stars have been a treat, like Tommy Cash, Johnny's brother, was fantastic. Then we had Shotgun Red a couple times. So, and of course, after his last Christmas show with us, a few weeks later, Steve Hall passed. But we've got a great Opry family, a lot of people that help us there.
Well, what is the point of the Huntingburg Opry? I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I grew up on country music, and country today, as we know, has really changed. But to the dedication and preservation, it started as the old Legion, and so we like the old music. We like to keep that. We have a steel guitar player in our band. And then we like to keep up that old building, but to keep the arts going, more or less. So country, bluegrass, and we always have a little gospel section of the show. And we're out to keep the old music alive, the things that sometimes you don't hear unless you're listening to my buddy Scott Salmon on Saturday morning.
Yeah, now, it's kind of an old-fashioned show. It's just an old traditional kind of show you would go to typically on a Saturday night, and you do these on Saturday nights.
We do, and we have people like, and I don't want to forget Beezer because he does that great noon show where we give our tickets away. But on Saturday nights, I've got my friends like Brenda Harkey and Phil and Tammy Schulteis and Jerry Kendall, and I could go on because we do skits from Hee Haw and Carol Burnett, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
And I'm still finding people that don't know we're there yet, no matter how much advertising I do. But when they come, they usually come back because you're either going to get a little bit of Hee Haw or Carol Burnett, but the house band, Stu Townsend, Donnie Revel, Gail and Dean Smith, fantastic. They play like the old couple on Hee Haw, you know. And then we have my son David, who's joined 86 band now, but I'm sure he'll still be around now and then. And we have Dottie Kane plays bass. We have Dan Rascott that'll join us for our Elvis show. And you know Dan's fantastic. And then we have a fiddle player named Millie Munier, about 15, 16 years old. Boy comes out there and plays, those great songs on the fiddle like Orange Blossom Special. And for 15 years old, she's really good.
Now, and when you talk about a show, you may talk about, we're going to have this artist performing, but there's a whole show that's part of that. It's not just that artist.
Most of the time, there's a lot of comedy, unless we have like one of our Nashville acts, and then there won't be a lot of comedy that night. There'll be 1 hour of me coming out performing, and then maybe some of them from the Opry, and not a lot of comedy, but maybe a lot of music that night.
But it's a full show.
Full show.
Okay, so somebody wants to get tickets, and so you really got to just kind of pay attention to when your shows are, because each month they're on a different kind of a date. So if somebody wants to get tickets, what's the easiest way to get tickets or information?
They can always look in the Herald, but if they call 812-893-1570, that's my wife, Nina. And Nina, she's been rather sick the last few years and on oxygen, but she loves to talk to the people. She doesn't greet them at the door anymore. But if they call the restaurant, they usually have some tickets. If you've not ate at Market Street Barbecue, there's a good plug for them. Dang good barbecue, And their hours are through the day at 2:30, but on Friday they're open of an evening, and Saturday they don't open until 4 o'clock. But then every show we do, you can pretty well eat there before you come and see a show.
Are the shows almost always at the same time?
Always toward the end of the month. It's either the 4th or 5th weekend toward the end of the month.
So they just really need to kind of watch for that and pay attention, and you always get it out about that. And you have posters out and about
We put posters.
as well.
I still hang up a few posters, and with that, and with the help of you guys, and I got to give you credit because I'm telling you, if you want to try to win free tickets, if you listen to Beezer or Scott, hey, we give enough tickets away.
Well, I'll tell you, on a Saturday morning when Scott's giving away tickets on Good Time Gold, he always comes to me and says, "Can you answer the phone?" I said, "Sure, that's not a problem." And when he asks for a call, the phones just keep ringing off the hook until he announces that we've got a winner. So people really like your show.
They do. And where can you go to a family-friendly show? And that's what we strive to keep it that way. And a place that you can take mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. It is an upstairs venue, but we have people that help them get up the steps if they need. Even at my age, I realize them knees don't work, especially when I'm there on a Saturday getting ready for a show and I'm up and down. My goodness.
Well, if you bend over and you get up, you don't get up so quick anymore.
What little Jimmy Dickens used to say, he'd say, "Well, I bent over and I'm down here. I wonder what else I can do while I'm here."
Do shows sell out?
They pretty well do, and we seat it where if maybe some come in at the end of the night, which they usually do, we can get them in there. But we seat about 110.
So it's best to really get your tickets in advance.
Always.
And if they call and are saying, "I want 2 tickets," will they be held at the door for them? Is that?
They're held at the door. We don't take credit card. What we do, they will hold that, and my wife writes that down. And when they come to the door, their name is there. And at that time, their seat's not held until they pay for that ticket.
Okay.
But a lot of them will send her a check. If it's 10 or more, a lot of church groups will give a discount if it's 10 or more, But the average ticket price can run $18 to $20, depending on who we have. If it's a Grand Ole Opry act, maybe 30, but you're working, you go see some good talent and
Right.
bring the kids or grandma and grandpa. And we've got it fixed up there really nice, like a small Grand Ole Opry.
It sounds like a great venue to go to for just an easy, enjoyable evening of old-fashioned country music and at times some comedy.
It's a hoot. And on that March show, Buddy Holly's going to be there, and Elvis will be there. If the people want to come and dress back in their throwbacks in the 70s, we're going to put that in the paper as a blast from the past, and I think they'll really enjoy that show. And then from there, we start having some of them Grand Ole Opry stars or the older ones coming.
Okay, and again, I think we should give the phone number again. If you want tickets or information, if you're not sure what the next show is.
You can call Market Street Barbecue at 812-684-9010 or my wife Nina at 812-893-1570.
And now with Market Street Park there, for parking and for a nice place to go, it's a perfect layout because you're right next to Market Street Park.
You hit that just right, Bill, because it is a fantastic venue now. And we also have where we do a little valet parking, or I've got a guy with a golf cart. He'll take you, he'll watch where you're parking and bring you right to the door.
Oh, that is excellent.
And some guys at the door that will help get up the steps. Some of them come with walkers, you know.
Do they sing the golf cart song when they're...
No, Bill, they don't do the golf cart song.
Okay,
but
you'll do that on stage.
Remembered.
Yes.
Yeah, occasionally. I think they get a kick out of our Wall of Fame because we have some nice pictures of when I used to have Willy Wonka hair. And we've got pictures on the wall of Betsy Pickle. It was the first song I had published in Nashville.
Yes.
And she sent us some pictures. So if they haven't been, look, if you haven't been to the Opry and you're sitting home on a Saturday night when we have those shows, sorry, but unless we can get BDC to film that someday for you.
That might be something we may have to do.
Might be something down the long run.
All right, well, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, Bill, I think that we've covered it all, but like I said, in March is the Buddy Holly and Elvis, but also Loretta Lynn and Hank Williams and Johnny Cash. They'll be there that night, and Tim Atwood in April. If you haven't seen Tim Atwood play that piano, boy, it's like Jerry Lee Lewis and Ronnie Millsap. May 30th, John Wagner. June 27th, Rodney Watts, and July 25th, Johnny Carver, and that's the one that sang Tie a Yellow Ribbon. And I found this boy down in Cannleton named Isaac, and buddy, he is an old soul and a young body, Isaac Corley, and he will be there August 29th with probably Jay Michaels, who's got a record deal out now, doing well overseas, and maybe Kevin Charles comes around once in a while. So all our Opry guests, they sing and they act, and I've been an actor for years, Bill. I've been acting like I can sing, and they still pay to see it.
All right.
And don't forget the Showdown. That'll be coming up next.
Yeah. Next thing you know, it'll be June. It'll be the Showdown.
Love that Showdown. We had so much fun through the years with that.
Now, this is David Wayne's Opry at the Huntingburg Music Hall. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay, but no matter what, if you look at the Huntingburg Music Hall or you look at David Wayne's Opry, either way, just go to the show.
You can't miss that big marquee sign we got out there now. It's a big light-up sign, and 312 North Main. Come see us. You'll have a good time.
And what some of us may remember is as the Old Legion.
The Old
Hall.
Legion. If you get lost, it's right where that new park is put in with a fountain.
And you got golf carts to give people rides from their cars.
We
That's
do.
excellent.
Yes.
All right. David Wayne,
Thanks,
pleasure
Bill.
having you in. Thank
Always
you very much.
good.
I'm glad that you are keeping busy. Also,
Always.
David Wayne, the singing bug man.
Termites are coming. When you see those ants swarming in the house and they're losing them wings, they ain't ants. Give me a call. We got a one-time treatment, ain't no high monthly fees, and you'll be good for 20 years plus. So how's that for a plug?
That's a good plug. Thank you
Thanks,
very much,
Bill.
David Wayne. Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We are local people watching local people.